Okay, so let's paint a snow scene, and here's my reference image. So this is from my imagination, I think. I did it a long time ago, so I'm not too sure. It might have begun with a photo. Just a minute. My stool might be a bit noisy. Okay, so we've got a hill coming down like this, and we've got a hill in the distance. I should say I absolutely love painting snow scenes in watercolor. It's really fun. Okay. Oh, and there'll be a list of my materials in the description box. I don't always use all of them. It's like my complete list, if you like. Okay, so here's a figure. Just a dad and his son. And let's have a dog. Just keep it very simple. So there we go. And then we're going to have some grass down here. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, maybe some hedgerow here. And a gate here. And then over here in the distance, some bushes. Could have like a church, right? Yeah, let's try. Might be a bit over the top, but let's do a church in the distance. Reminds me of England. Well, some idealized version of England. Okay, so yellow ochre. And we're going to have the sun here. So I'm using a big mop and pure yellow ochre. And then cerulean blue. Beautiful colour. And I begin at this edge. Whoops, didn't want to do that. But we can erase it with tissue. There we go. And then just gradually move in. And we can create this beautiful effect, like this. And a touch more cerulean blue, strengthen this a little bit. There we go. And then down here, some yellow ochre, but quite watery. And when this dries off, we might see almost nothing actually. It'll be there, but it will be extremely subtle. And then also a little bit here. You don't really have to do this, to be honest. You can leave it pure white. Okay, so let's leave it to dry. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to get my mop brush. Maybe this one. No, sorry, not mop brush. Bamboo brush. And I'm going to make two mixes. So I'm going to make a brownish mix. So maybe phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, and burnt sienna. Let's see what that looks like. Not too bad. Maybe a bit bluer. Maybe yellow ochre. Okay, maybe that will do. And then a darker mix. So phthalo blue, burnt sienna, okay, there we go. And yeah, how to do this. Maybe I don't want to waste the paint on this brush. So I'll get another bamboo brush. This one is a bit small. And use it for the first mix, yeah? So here we go. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. So can you see how I'm getting this very rough edge? There might be no point really, because we're going to go over this with white paint, but still, I will try and create a rough edge. And we want some variety, so we want a high bit here, then it comes down low, then maybe high again. But don't make it a regular pattern, because that doesn't look natural. The brain has this tendency to create patterns, but sadly it makes things look unnatural. Have to speed up a little bit now because this is drying out, and I want to use my other mix at the bottom. It's supposed to be darker, but oh, it is, but not that much darker. There you go. And I'm hoping to get a dry brush effect at the bottom here. I think this textural effect is so beautiful. It's so simple, and yet it just looks really good. Oh, I don't know about that, but there we go. And then let's do this distant thing. So I'll use cerulean blue, and then I'll take a touch of this. And I'll go with this. So hopefully, tonally, it's a little bit cooler. And that's going to give us a feeling of distance. Oh dear, this spire's really gone wrong. Spiraling out of control. Okay. Okay. Probably should do this brownish, but I'll go with that. And I'm not sure I need to do a spire. Maybe there wouldn't be one, but it looks good. So let's stick with it. Okay, there we go. And here, the fence. Okay, there we go. And then over here we've got some trees. So maybe these trees have ivy on them, so they're quite fat trunks. Like that. Ooh. Okay. And then do one more and try to make it a little bit different. Once again, the brain is going to want to do it all the same, and you have to resist that. Okay, and then I'm going to get my liner brush and hopefully create a nice looking tree. Now you don't want these smaller branches parallel. Crossing over is fine, but just don't make them parallel. It happens so easily. And then as this dries out, you can go a little bit crazy like this, and it's a lot of fun. And it looks fantastic, in my opinion. Okay, and then let's do the same here. Yeah, this tree is a bit of a strange shape, but to be honest, I quite like it. So just make sure none of these are parallel. Got a weird branch coming off like that, because trees have these fantastically weird shapes if you look carefully. There are patterns, but you also get these weird branches going off in bizarre directions. Okay, and then let's go crazy. And then maybe it's too late for this, but sometimes with your finger you can create some texture. Bit late for doing this, but it looks quite interesting. Okay, and let's just leave that to dry. Okay, so now I'm going to get my big bamboo brush and I'm going to mix cerulean blue with a touch of maybe alizarin crimson. Let's see, that's too much. Okay, that will do. Here goes nothing. You have to be a bit bold in watercolour painting. And a little bit here. That's quite nice. And then here. And I'm not worried about dry brush here. I might add a touch of burnt sienna. Okay. And then I'm going to make a grey. So cerulean blue, alizarin crimson and burnt sienna, but this is thicker mix than before. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah. I love all these subtle colours. I might even do a little bit here. Ooh, could be too much. We'll find out after it's dried. Yeah, I'll wipe that and then I'll just soften this a bit. Wipe, wipe, wipe. There is quite a bit of playing around that you can actually do with watercolour painting, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's do some shadows on these trees. So I'll use my smaller bamboo brush and cerulean blue, alizarin crimson. There's a tiny bit of burnt sienna in there from the previous mix, yeah. I'll make this quite a big mix. Hopefully I can use it again for the figures and the dark. Okay, looks good. Sun is there, so let's try and get the direction right. The reason I don't do the figures yet is because if I did them and then I did these shadows over the top of them, I might end up shifting the paint underneath that I did the figures with. Hope that makes sense, because I'll use a dark mix for that, and that will not look good, so I don't want to do that. I mean, it's possible that it doesn't get shifted, but there's a high chance it will. Okay, so what's this going to look like? It's time to go a bit crazy. But it's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, I think that works. It's very rough what I'm doing, yeah? Just kind of guessing and sort of fudging, really. So yeah, there. I'm massively oversimplifying everything. Okay, so here we're going to have it like that. Okay. I'm just at an age where, sadly, I can't do complicated anymore, and that's probably a good thing. I was never very good at it anyway, I think. Okay, that's nice. Then there. Okay. Okay, it's pretty good. So let's just leave that now to dry. Maybe some tissue at the bottom. Sometimes the mixture builds up, yeah, and then it can explode into a cauliflower. That's quite nice. I like this effect here. This cool blue with the dark underneath. I think it looks very good. Maybe my edge here is a bit too bit too regular, a bit too straight. Okay, yeah, leave it to dry and then we'll do these figures. So now I'm going to do the two figures and the dog. So I'm using a bamboo brush and I'll make a dark mix. So some blue, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson and burnt sienna. So I need a fine point on the brush. So I want to get a dry brush effect here. We'll see what happens. Not exactly a dry brush, but not too bad. Okay, now for the dog. Okay. And shadows. So cerulean blue, alizarin crimson, okay, so here we go. And this one. Just try to keep the shadows as simple as possible. And then the dog. Okay. And then I think here we're going to have some few blades of grass. So burnt sienna, a touch of cerulean blue maybe. See what happens. Okay, here we go. Maybe enough. And then shadows, cerulean blue, alizarin crimson. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's leave it to dry. Now I'm going to colour in the figures and the dog. So I'm going to use this liner brush. Whoops, maybe spilt some water. Okay, and I think I'm going to use cerulean blue on the boy. It's a little bit dirty, but it's okay. This is quite thick. Here we go. That'll do. And then I think with the man, I'm wondering whether to do burnt sienna or yellow ochre. I'm going to use yellow ochre. So again, thick mix. Okay, and then let's do the dog. So the dog is going to be burnt sienna. Hopefully you can see that. So let's leave that to dry. This has almost dried, so I'm going to do orange, brilliant orange for the faces. My orange is a bit hard. Okay. Okay, let's leave that to dry and then we'll do some highlights with white paint. So now line a brush and some white paint. And I'm sort of using the side of the brush. maybe not all the time. Yeah, I think that will do. Maybe a few touches between big branches. Okay, maybe not, a bit more. Okay, I think that's it. So please have a go and let me know how it works out for you. And also I do lessons, so if you're interested in lessons, then there'll be a link in the description box. So that's all for now. Wherever you are, I wish you all the best and happy painting.